Well, joining us now is Pattie Lovett-Reid. She has some tips to help navigate through the challenges of one of life's difficult passageways, divorce.
You know, it's a sad topic. We've been talking about the holiday season, and so many families want to keep their relationships intact to get through one of the probably busiest and family-oriented times of the year. And January, this is according to Ron Shulman. He's the founder of Shulman Law Firm. Their firm saw in January 2015, 3 times the number of people inquiring about divorce. Year over year, it's up double. Not expecting those numbers to change. And when you look at the statistics in Canada, 41% of all marriages end in divorce. You know, there are so many ramifications, there's so many ways to look at this, but it's stressful. And I'm looking at it from a business side of things, and so some of the things that you should do if you're going through that from a personal perspective in the workplace is maybe let your boss or let your human resources know. I mean, quite often court dates are down the road, but sometimes things crop up. You may need time off, and it's going to be an emotional time. Also, many employers have resources available to you that you never thought you'd need, you never looked into, probably just didn't even pay attention to, and that can also be helped. Maintaining a certain routine. A lot of people love what they do, but I have seen it done where people have said, you know, I'm going to have to pay a lot in spousal support. There will be child support if there are children involved, and maybe I'll just cut back. Maybe I'll take some time off. A judge is going to see through that, obviously, and there's going to be an equalization of assets. But you kind of put it all together, and you got to recognize that there's work and business in your career, and then there's family. You want to share, but I got to tell you, don't want to share too much.
I've had friends who have become divorced after knowing that that was in the cards for a while. They saw it coming, in other words, and I've had friends who have had it dropped on them all of a sudden out of the clear blue. How much difference does it make whether you know your relationship is coming to an end or not?
Well, I think, you know, I have seen people who did know it was coming to an end, and when it comes to that equalization of assets, it's still going to be a little bitter, it's still going to be nasty, but you can maybe plan for it a little more accordingly. On the other side, when it is dropped and it is a bombshell, I've said many times, no one cares more about you and your financial situation than you. And so throughout your life, if you've abdicated and not been involved, it can be a double whammy. One, it's an emotional one, but 2, it's a financial one. Michael, your thoughts?
Well, you know, divorce is extremely difficult and ugly, and it's a litigious environment that you're thrown into. And not very many of them that I've seen have been, you know, that amicable in terms of work. I've seen a few that have been, but not a lot. And I really think that, you know, not everybody is protected under the umbrellas of family trusts and things like that, where you don't have to worry about your assets. And for most of us, though, you know, your assets are at risk. And I think the key is whether it comes suddenly or whether you know it's coming, the first thing you need in this environment is some solid legal advice, because it is a legal phenomena that you go through. And you know, some people say there is no such thing as family law. They make it up as they go along, but
lawyers would tell you otherwise, but good point. That's where you reach out first.
Yeah, you really do need that solid advice to help you get through that very difficult period. And as you said, maintaining a routine and, you know, focusing on your career or whatever it is that's really important to you is really one of the key elements.
Thanks a great deal, as always, Pattie Lovett-Reid. Coming up, Michael Sprong on what could spark a correction in the stock markets. We'll find out what he's watching for.